dunked on LeBron James. Are you kidding me? You got to stare him down after dunking on LeBron. LeBron doesn't get dunked on often like this.
He's going to ask for his own poster. He'll make his own poster. He won't wait for it. LeBron was cool with it. He was like, listen, sometimes you get dunked on, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, LeBron has a lot of bodies.
Yes, he does.
So,
That's true.
Listen, you play long enough, you're going to get dunked on.
You got
Absolutely.
that right. Welcome to The Jump. I'm Brian Windhurst, in for Rachel Nichols. She is attending David Stearns Memorial today in New York. But I am joined by former Grizzlies and Knicks head coach David Fizdale.
Thanks for having me again.
And the Hall of Famer, who you know he doesn't need an introduction, Tracy McGrady.
What's up, world? What's up?
Coming up, Zion spoke to the media today about his much-anticipated debut tomorrow, and we'll play that for you and discuss it shortly. But first, we sometimes focus too much in the NBA on the end, that the only thing worth celebrating in a season is the champion. This has always been a bit of a flawed way of looking at the league, and it's really gotten worse over the last decade. To not recognize the greatness and the struggle is a disservice to the game and its stars. With that in mind, today is a day to recognize the greatness of Damian Lillard. In a struggling season with his Portland Trail Blazers, and they've been wrecked by injuries. But he came into last night's game against the Warriors in 11th place in the West, 3 games out of the last playoff spot, and with just 9 available players. But here was Lillard putting on a display that anyone who attended the game or watched it live will not soon forget. He made crazy shot
After shot.
after crazy shot after crazy shot in leading that amazing comeback. In all, he made 11 three-pointers. That was a team record. So were his 61 points in the overtime victory. And that's the thing about Lillard. He doesn't care about the score. He doesn't care about the standings. He chases greatness no matter the circumstances. Take a listen to Terry Stotts, his coach, after the game.
He doesn't quit. He never thinks he's out of a game, never thinks he's out of a season. Always thinks they have a chance to win. And that's what motivates him.
So now the Blazers are in 10th in the West, 2 games out of the playoffs, and Lillard's march will continue. Portland's not going to be getting a ring this year, and they very likely won't make it back to the conference finals. But their streak of 7 straight seasons in the playoffs matters deeply to Lillard. You can count on him playing more great games as he desperately tries to extend that streak. It's within this type of fight where much of the greatness in the NBA actually lies. We'd all do better to recognize it more often. T-Mac, after that 60-piece from Dame last night, can he do it himself? Can he take the Blazers into that last playoff spot?
No, I don't think so, man. I think the West is too deep.
Yep.
As the Blazers are in the 10th spot right now. I mean, you still have New Orleans out there who has Zion coming back, and
Yes.
the way they're playing right now, and you add him to the mix, it's going to be tough. I don't think the Blazers want Dame to play this style, because by the time you get to the playoffs, you're burnt out.
Got nothing left.
He's gonna need CJ. He's gonna need Trevor Ariza to get acclimated with this team, and Carmelo Anthony and Whiteside and those boys. I mean, although that was a great performance that I love watching him put on last night, it's not the recipe for success for them, because he will burn out.
No, I agree with that. And you brought up Zion. The Pelicans have the easiest schedule going down
Wow,
the
that's a good
stretch
point,
in the
good
West.
point.
And for him to come back to that team with Brandon Ingram playing the way he's playing, they have a great chance. But again, you're talking about Pop and the Spurs are in that mix.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies are playing fantastic with their 2 young studs over there. And then that boy Devin Booker.
Yeah, man.
He's cooking everybody right now. I think he's averaging like 32 over the last month. It's going to be a tough run for Dame to do that by himself. He's really going to need those other guys to get healthy and get back to the
one
team.
thing is they do have Yusuf Nurkic, who should be back. We haven't really got an update on him,
Yeah.
but he should be back in and around the All-Star break, and that's a huge addition for them.
Yes, it is.
But they are going to be fighting from behind. Like I said, he just got him into 10th place. He didn't get him into 6th.
Right.
So it's going to be a challenge, but they are waiting on this trade, which should get finalized today. That was why they only had 9 players last night, because the 3 guys are trading or sitting out, and C.J. McCollum was out with the.
That'll definitely be a big help to him. But again, even if they do get in, look at what's waiting for him. And if he has to exert that much energy.
Yeah, but I think
right?
I think we may not all recognize that finishing 8th for them is a good season, but he
has a pride.
recognizes that.
And that's what you got to respect Dame Lillard. He has an incredible amount of pride when it comes to making the playoffs and willing his team to be the best that they can be. They may not be a contender or anything like that, but we are witnessing greatness with this kid, and that's the scary part.
Max,
He's still
you know
young.
what it's like to be trying to carry a team in the playoffs and trying to do it every night.
No, it's tough, but that's the thing. He shouldn't have to do it every night because he has CJ being healthy. He has Melo now. They will be, if this team is healthy, they are a scary team in the 8th seed. I mean, they were in the Western Conference last year with this core group.
Absolutely.
Some of these guys. So
they typically are hard to beat at home, but the Lakers have already gotten them there twice this year. Let's move on to the Rockets. They blew a 17-point lead at home to the Thunder yesterday. James Harden went 1 of 17 from three-point range, tying his own record for most missed threes in a game. The Rockets have lost 4 straight and 5 of 6. Coach, are the Rockets fixable right now?
Well, again, I don't know if they're broken from that standpoint. They're a team that they really rely on the 3-ball. And if the 3-ball is not falling for them, they usually go into some type of slump. I think the big thing for them is going to be they're going to have to pick up their defense to get themselves out into the open court more and not just rely on half-court 3-point shots. And then I really think they're a team that can use a move before the trade deadline. If they can add a piece to the team, especially from like a big wing, I think that can definitely help them jump to a new place.
That wing ain't going to touch the ball but 3 or 4 times. I mean,
but defensively,
Tracy's not ready.
Defensively, a guy that can switch more, that can maybe help their defense a little bit more. You're right. The guy's going to be spaced out on the floor, probably waiting for the ball. But at the same time, I do think it's a defensive thing that they have to take it up a notch if they want to get out of the place they're in.
I just think this is why a lot of people don't take the Rockets serious, right? Because as a contender of being able to win the whole thing. I mean, 17, you're 1 for 17. Like, you should have learned your lesson 2 years ago when you're in Game 7, you missed 27 straight threes as a team. Had you created easier shots, mid-range shots, and it shows mid-range shots wins championships by your best players.
The real frustrating part of this game, if you're a Rockets fan, was Steven Adams got hurt, sprained his ankle 2 minutes into this game, and Nerlens Noel didn't play. That meant the 2 basket defenders that the Thunder rely on were not there. So you got James missing 16 threes, and you got a lead in the fourth quarter. You don't have to have a degree in basketball to know go to the basket.
Absolutely, but
that's the problem.
I thought that OKC did a great job with their small ball lineups of switching and getting out and really getting underneath him and challenging those shots. And then those 3 guards that OKC have, they were breaking them down off the dribble.
OKC is the best fourth quarter team in the league. This is what they do.
Playmaking.
If that's the thing, they're a high-power offensive team, right? If the offense is not there, what are you going to have?
That's my point. Exactly right.
You know what I mean? Like, you
what's
can't
weird?
get stops.
Also, the other weird thing is Westbrook has played arguably his best 5 games. He's averaging 32 points and 9 assists.
Westbrook
in this streak.
And they're still losing.
He is the best player on this team right now, the way he's playing. I mean, he's picked up his play. And James is just inefficient.
I mean, they've got some injuries. They're really thin right now. Eric Gordon, he's not really back in shape coming back from his injury.
Right.
But, they are now only 2 games ahead of the Thunder, and they're out of position on the tiebreaker for the 7th seed.
To answer the question, they are fixable. I mean, they just got to tighten up their defense.
That's right.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to take a look at what makes this year's Clippers squad different than your normal super team. And here's a hint. Load management is a factor. But first, it's time for our distant replay from this date in 1998, featuring the great Antoine Walker.
Shimmy!
Twinkle toes.
Can we get the shimmy?
Oh, he's light on his feet, Pat.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you call KG,
I thought we was going to get a finger roll.
Larry Bird is walking through that door.
Yeah, Twan. Give me the shimmy.
That's my man.
Give me the shimmy.